All right, so you want to dive into the secrets to success, huh?
Always a popular topic.
It really is. And luckily for us, we have an absolute classic to guide us. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Ah, yes, a blueprint for success.
That's one way to put it. But I'll be honest, it's a bit of a dense read. So for this deep dive, we're going to be focusing on a specific YouTube video that breaks it all down. It's called Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich audiobook, The Financial Freedom Blueprint.
That's a great resource. It really distills the essence of Hill's work.
Exactly. So we'll be pulling out those key takeaways and hopefully inspiring you to achieve your own version of success.
Sounds like a plan.
Now, the story behind Think and Grow Rich is almost as fascinating as the book itself. It all starts with Andrew Carnegie, the steel tycoon, right?
That's right. Carnegie was convinced there was a secret to making money, a formula for success.
And I'm guessing he wasn't about to share it with just anyone.
Definitely not. But he saw something special in a young Napoleon Hill, and so he gave him this incredible task: go out and decode the secrets of the most successful people in the world.
Talk about a dream assignment. So did Hill actually crack the code?
He did. And what's fascinating is that it wasn't some magic formula or get-rich-quick scheme. Hill discovered that success is woven into the actions and mindsets of successful people.
So it's less about finding a magic spell and more about understanding the blueprint, the common strategies these folks used.
Exactly.
I like it. Give me an example.
Okay, think about Edwin Barnes. This guy was obsessed with working with Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison,
Ah,
like the inventor of the light bulb.
the one and only.
Wow. But was Barnes even an inventor himself?
Not really. He just had this burning desire to work with Edison. And not just for him, but as his business partner.
Hold on, partners with Thomas Edison. That's a pretty audacious goal.
It was. But here's the thing. Barnes didn't just wish for it. He envisioned it with such clarity that it became his driving force. And what's incredible is that he eventually did become Edison's partner thanks to that unwavering focus.
Seriously, that's amazing. So are you saying that success is all about aligning your thoughts and actions with your goals?
It's a big part of it. But there's more to it than just thinking positive thoughts.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me another example.
All right. Have you ever heard of R.U. Derby?
Can't say I have.
He was this guy who was absolutely convinced he'd find gold. He put everything he had into digging this mine. But then right when he was about to strike it rich, he gave up.
Oh no, so close.
Literally 3 feet from gold.
Oof. I feel like we've all been there at some point.
Yeah, right.
Starting something with so much enthusiasm, but then giving up right before a breakthrough.
We all have those Derby moments, but Hill uses this story to show us how important persistence is. It's about learning from setbacks and not giving up on our dreams.
Okay, persistence, got it.
Mm.
But is there a way to, increase our odds of success? I'm sensing Hill had more to say than just don't give up.
You're right. Hill lays out a framework called the 6 Steps to Riches to help turn desires into reality. Think of it as a roadmap to get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Okay, I'm ready. What are the steps?
Step 1 is all about clarity. You need to get crystal clear about the exact amount of money you want. Not a fuzzy, I want to be rich, but a specific number.
Interesting. So we're getting specific right from the start. What's next?
Step 2 is where the rubber meets the road. What are you willing to give in exchange for that money? You have to bring something valuable to the table.
Right. No free lunches. Makes sense. What about step 3?
Step 3 is all about setting a deadline. When do you want to achieve this goal? This injects a sense of urgency into your actions.
I love a good deadline. It definitely keeps me motivated. What about step 4?
Step 4 is about taking action. Create a plan and get moving. Don't wait until you feel ready because, let's face it, that might never happen.
So true. It's easy to get stuck in the planning phase.
Yeah.
Action. It is. What about the last 2 steps?
Step 5 might seem simple, but it's powerful. Write down the previous 4 steps. This helps solidify your commitment and creates a tangible reminder of your goals.
Okay, writing it down. Got it. And finally, step 6.
Step 6 is all about imprinting those goals on your subconscious. You're going to read your written statement aloud twice daily, morning and night, with absolute conviction.
Wait, read it aloud. Why is that so important?
Will Hill called this auto-suggestion. It's like you're planting a seed in your mind and then watering it with emotion twice a day. The subconscious is incredibly powerful, and this is how you tap into it.
Wow, that's fascinating. It's like we're programming our minds for success. But does this stuff actually work?
Well, Carnegie, the steel magnate who gave Hill this challenge in the first place, was living proof. He built a massive fortune, and he swore by the power of faith. But we're not talking about blind faith here.
Right, it's not just wishing and hoping.
Exactly. Hill defined faith as the confident expectation that your efforts will be rewarded.
So it's about believing in yourself and the process and having the confidence to see it through.
That's the key.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about this whole subconscious mind thing? It's a bit of a mystery to me. How do we actually tap into that power?
It's all about feeding your subconscious with thoughts fueled by emotion. You need to feel the desire, the excitement, the burning passion for what you want to achieve.
Okay, so it's not just about thinking it, it's about feeling it. But how do we actually do that?
Think back to the 6th step of Hill's process, reading your written statement aloud twice a day. It's not just some random ritual. It's about intentionally injecting emotion into those words, imprinting them on your subconscious.
So it's like we're programming our minds for success by repeatedly exposing ourselves to those thoughts and feelings.
Exactly. And there's actually science behind this. Studies show that repeating affirmations and engaging in positive self-talk can reprogram our thinking patterns.
That's incredible. But what about when those negative thoughts creep in? You know, that inner critic that tells us we're not good enough. How do we deal with that?
He'll acknowledge that negative thoughts are inevitable. But he said we have the power to choose which thoughts we focus on.
So it's about being mindful of our thoughts and not letting those negative voices take over.
He compared the mind to a garden. If you want to grow beautiful flowers, you need to weed out the unwanted plants.
Okay, I like that analogy. So it's about creating a mental environment that's conducive to success.
Exactly. It takes discipline and practice, but by choosing to focus on positive and empowering thoughts, we can train our minds to operate at a higher frequency.
So success isn't about waiting for the perfect mental state. It's about actively shaping our minds. I like it. But let's be honest, some people just seem to effortlessly attract success. Was Hill a believer in luck?
Well, he believed that a lot of what we call luck is actually preparation meeting opportunity.
So it's not about waiting for some lucky break. It's about creating the conditions for success.
Exactly. When you're clear about your goals and actively pursuing them, you're more likely to notice and seize opportunities that others might miss.
That reminds me of that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But even with the best preparation, we all face curveballs, those unexpected challenges that can throw us off track. How did Hill address that?
He didn't sugarcoat it. He considered setbacks an inevitable part of the journey. In fact, he openly shared his own story of experiencing multiple failures, including financial ruin during the panic of 1907.
Wait, hold on. The guy who wrote Think and Grow Rich experienced financial ruin. Seriously.
It's true. But he swore by the power of persistence.
So it's about viewing setbacks as temporary hurdles, not permanent roadblocks.
He famously said, before success comes in any man's life, he's sure to meet with much temporary deceit and perhaps some failures. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and the most logical thing to do is to quit. That's exactly what the majority of men do.
Wow, powerful words. So how do we cultivate that kind of persistence?
Well, having a burning desire for your goal is crucial. That passion will fuel you when things get tough.
Okay, passion makes sense.
What else? Surround yourself with a supportive network. Having a mastermind group can provide encouragement, accountability, and fresh perspectives when you hit a wall.
Ah, the mastermind principle. So success isn't just a solo mission. It's about leveraging the power of collaboration.
You got it. And finally, Hill suggested using auto-suggestion to reinforce your belief in your ability to overcome challenges.
Right. Keep telling yourself you can do it even when you don't feel like it. This is all great stuff.
Oh.
But Hill also explored a concept that might surprise you, the sixth sense. Wait, like ESP. Was Hill getting into the mystical stuff?
Not exactly. He described the sixth sense as an intuitive faculty, a way to tap into a higher level of consciousness.
Okay, so it's more about intuition than supernatural powers. Did he believe everyone has this sixth sense?
He believed everyone has the potential to develop it.
So how do we do that?
He suggested things like practicing creative visualization, spending time in nature, and engaging in activities that spark your imagination.
So it's about quieting the conscious mind and creating space for those intuitive insights to emerge. That makes sense. But what about those big life decisions? How do we know when to trust our gut and when to rely on logic?
It's a great question. And Hill emphasized finding a balance between head and heart.
So we need both.
He recommended gathering all the necessary information, but then quieting the mind and listening for that inner voice of wisdom.
It's like finding that sweet spot between intuition and rational thinking.
Exactly. Sometimes our intuition can lead us to paths that our logical mind wouldn't even consider.
This is fascinating. But what if we make a mistake? What if trusting our gut leads us astray?
Well, Hill believed that mistakes are inevitable, but they're also valuable learning opportunities. He stressed the importance of not dwelling on past errors, but instead focusing on the lessons learned and moving forward with that newfound wisdom.
So it's about embracing failure as a necessary part of growth.
Precisely. Every successful person has faced setbacks and failures. It's how we respond to those challenges that ultimately defines our success.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Success isn't about perfection. It's about resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to learn from experience.
You're catching on. Hill's philosophy wasn't about creating rigid rules. It was about empowering people to tap into their potential and create their own path to success.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far. We've gone from the power of the subconscious mind to the importance of persistence, from intuition to embracing failure. Hill covered a lot of ground. But there's one thing I'm particularly curious about money.
Ah, yes, the tangible results of success. That's what we'll delve into in the final part of our deep dive, Hill's insights on attracting and managing wealth.
All right, now we're talking.
So you want to know how to attract wealth, right? Well, Hill spent years studying the wealthiest people of his time, and he discovered that while their paths to riches varied, there were some common principles they all embraced.
I'm all ears. Were there any big surprises?
One of the most surprising was the idea of service.
Service. I thought we were talking about getting rich. How does helping others lead to financial abundance?
Hill was convinced that the real key to wealth is providing value to others. He often said, "The world doesn't pay you for what you know, it pays you for what you do with what you know." In other words, it's not enough to just have knowledge. You have to use it to make a difference.
So it's not about being selfish or hoarding wealth. It's about creating something that genuinely benefits others.
Exactly. When you focus on solving problems, meeting needs, or making a positive impact, you create a natural flow of abundance. Hill's book is full of stories of people who made fortunes by putting others first.
I can see how that makes sense in a way. But how does providing value translate into actual dollars and cents? Did Hill have any specific business advice or anything like that?
Hill explored all sorts of wealth-building strategies, but he didn't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach. He emphasized the importance of figuring out your unique talents and finding ways to leverage them to create value. He was big on figuring out what you're good at and then finding a way to use it.
So it's about playing to our strengths and finding our niche. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Some people are born into wealth. How much does our starting point impact our ability to become financially successful?
That's true. Everyone starts from a different place. But Hill truly believed that anyone, regardless of their background, can achieve financial abundance if they have the right mindset and are willing to put in the effort.
It's not about where you start. It's about where you're headed. I like that. But what about when we hit those inevitable roadblocks? You know, those times when you're working hard and serving others, but the money just isn't coming in?
Hill was a huge believer in persistence, even when things get tough. He told this great story about a young man who was desperate to get rich quick. So he goes to this wealthy businessman for advice.
Okay, what did the businessman say?
The businessman points to a ladder and says, "There's a ladder over there. The top ring is in plain sight. Climb that ladder rung by rung and you'll be rich."
Sounds simple enough. What did the young man do?
The young man hesitated. He asked, "But what about the money? How will I get the money to invest and get rich?" And the businessman replied, "I'll tell you how to get the money after you've climbed the ladder. You have to take action first, then the resources will follow."
So it's about taking that first step, even if you don't have all the answers figured out. It's about having faith that the path will unfold as you go.
Exactly. Hill called this going the extra mile. It's about exceeding expectations, taking initiative, and being willing to go above and beyond.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. Success isn't a passive process. It requires action, persistence, and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones. But what happens when we finally achieve financial success? Is that it? Is it just about accumulating more and more wealth?
Hill believed that true success is about more than just money. He emphasized finding balance between financial abundance and spiritual well-being. He was also a big advocate for giving back.
That's so important. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of wealth and forget about everything else.
Hill recommended practicing gratitude. He believed that being thankful for what we have, both material and non-material, is crucial for happiness. He also encouraged acts of kindness and generosity.
So it's about recognizing that true wealth encompasses more than just financial gain. It's about relationships, community, and living a meaningful life.
You got it. Hill's philosophy wasn't about achieving success at any cost. It was about creating a life of abundance in every sense of the word.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. We covered so much ground: the power of the subconscious mind, the importance of persistence, the role of intuition, the value of serving others, and so much more. It's amazing how much Hill managed to pack into Think and Grow Rich.
It truly is a timeless classic, and his principles can be applied to anyone's life, no matter what their goals are.
So what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this episode?
I hope listeners realize that success isn't a matter of luck or circumstance. It's a choice. We make that choice every single day through our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions.
It's about taking control of our own destinies. That's a really empowering message.
It is.
Well, this has been an amazing exploration of Napoleon Hill's wisdom. I hope you're all feeling inspired to chase your dreams with passion and persistence. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. So keep those minds sharp and those goals high. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next success story Hill would have written about.
It could happen.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep reaching for your full potential.